Mark.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you're okay with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that desk of his, man. I could tell that paperwork.
Oh, great. Shelly just tipping her hat. That's exactly what she tells me, Mark. There's just way too much clutter on there.
That says he's important. Look how busy.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things going on, but less than mine. No doubt.
Yeah. And actually, Gerry, Mark is a fellow luminary leader too. So we represent him, and he's been my business advisor, gosh, for what, 5 years now, Mark?
Long time. Yeah.
Long time. Yeah. So I'm sure some of that paperwork back there is for me.
Mark, where are you located?
Riverside.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I know Riverside, out the 91 freeway. Yeah.
Yes. San Bernardino Mountains.
So I'm going to start letting people in just a moment. Just want to kind of do a real quick run through. I'm going to open up the I was going to say show meeting, and if we have more than 20 people attending, then I'm going to have them do breakout sessions for the introductions. Gerry, unless you'd like everybody to be in the room when we're doing introductions.
Oh, how are you, Shelly? I will go with the flow, whatever works for you.
Okay. I appreciate that, definitely. We also do the Pledge of Allegiance. I read a mission statement, and then we just kind of go right into, introductions, and then have you speak. You'll probably have about 40 minutes to speak, Gerry, because I really want our audience to absorb what you have to share.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, so I'm going to start letting people in, and they're coming in. All right, and there's Deborah Curry. Right, Deborah, how are you? Maybe she doesn't hear us yet. She might not be at her desk. And there's
I am at my desk, but I'm on a call, Shelly, so I gotta finish this up.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that, Deborah.
Or
all right, and Vablet host.
yes.
Hey, yes, and your name is, I'm not sure. Oh, Paul.
Yes.
Hi, Paul. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Sure. My pleasure. Sorry.
It said a different name when it first started. Oh, there you are.
There you go.
Awesome. Oh, wow. You've got a nice background too.
Thanks.
Yeah. And Renate, hello. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Renate.
We have more people that I'm letting in. Hey, Scott, how are you? Scott Leeper just joined Luminary Leaders for the Military Speakers and Authors program.
Hey, guys.
Awesome. Welcome, Scott.
All right. I'm just letting people in right now. I would have music, but I didn't have a chance to get it up and running. So, well, does anybody sing that wants to sing for us? Okay, we have more coming in. Renate, can I make you co-host so you can start admitting people? Oh,
I never did that before, Shelly.
okay, so no worries. I'll keep doing it, and we'll get the meeting started. I'll do double duty here.
Hey, Shelly, sorry, I didn't mean to be so short with you, but I had someone call me that I had to deal with.
Yeah, no
there was
worries,
nothing I could do.
No worries.
You know
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, we have a couple more people that joined us. Let's see. We'll get started here in about a minute. I just want to make sure we've let everybody in, and I'll continue to let people in. So we had Monique join us. We have our executive director, Joe, here with us. All right, Joe, there you are.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
Hello,
Happy to have you here, Joe. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're about 2 minutes after 12:30, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all to our leadership meeting for the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce. We do these meetings each month, and we have phenomenal speakers, and today is no different. We have Gerry Foster. He's going to give just some amazing branding information. I've seen him speak a few times, and he is a powerhouse. So you're lucky to have him today. We will do a few introductions, and I think what I'd like to do now, Mark, can I turn it over to you to do our Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely, it'd be my privilege.
Everyone, we're going to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Mark, do you want to go ahead and lead us?
Yes. I pledge allegiance. Put your right hand over your chest. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America,
America and to the republic
Republic
for which it
which
stands, one nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice
justice
for
for
all.
Great. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate that. And thank you, everyone. I wanted to read a quick, and this is actually our mission statement for the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. And I'm going to read that to you real quick. We believe in working together as one unit. We believe in promoting and supporting all veterans. We believe in building strong bonds of collaboration with organizations that are committed to supporting veterans and their families. Everything we do is for the highest good and for the benefit of all. And, again, I'm going to throw it back over to Mark so that he could welcome our veterans.
I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for your service, all the veterans that are on this call right now. And we want to thank you for your service, and we want you to know that we are here to support you and collaborate around and for and with you. So please feel free to step up and contact any one of us and let us know what your vision is or what your need is, and let us help you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. And, and I want to ditto that too, because we definitely appreciate our veterans. And I know we have a few here today that are joining us, and thank you for your service. What I'd like to do, because we have a somewhat of a smaller group, why don't we do self-introductions? And I know we had Levon join us too, Levon Shields. So I'd like to do self-introductions, and here's what how we're gonna do this. We will say, or I want you to just introduce yourself, your name, your company, and then from there, what is one thing that you could change about your branding? And keep it somewhat short. We just want to kind of get an idea of, so that Gerry can hear too. So if I could just make sure everybody has a clear idea of what we're going to do. Anybody have any questions? Just checking
That's
everything.
good.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go to gallery view there. I can see everyone. All right. So if we could go ahead and why don't we start with, let's see, Scott, how about if we start with you, and then after you, we'll have Monique introduce herself.
All right, put the new guy on the spot. I like it.
Yeah.
So I'm Scott Leeper. I'm a veteran mindset coach, and my business is called Alpha Lima Charlie. And there is a story behind those three phonetic letters, and I can explain that if you guys want to later. But the biggest thing for me as far as branding is concerned right now is just developing awareness. Alpha Lima Charlie was launched July 30th, still within the first year. And so just getting people to understand what veteran mindset coaching really is, bridging the gap between the VA mental health system and the veteran themselves, creating peer mentorship, relatability, that kind of thing. And like a little bit ago, I had a conversation with a vet that opened up for the first time in years on the gym floor. And he felt better just after opening up like that. So just getting veterans to understand what it is, and getting people to start opening up and start understanding veteran mindset coaching.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome. All right, Monique.
My company is actually World Financial Group, Transamerica, and it's not so much of the company branding that I need help with, but more probably the personal branding, because that's what people.
Monique, I think we're having a little hard time hearing you.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Is that, let's see. Go ahead.
Yeah, my company is World Financial Group, Transamerica, and it's not so much of the company branding that I'm needing probably help with. It's more of the personal branding, because that is what people connect with first when you reach out to them. So.
Very good. Well, thank you, Monique, and welcome. And I think you've attended our Global Women's Networking Group, right?
So, yeah.
Yes, very good. Well, great to have you back. Thank you. So next, let's go to Deborah Curry, then we'll go to Levon Shields.
Okay, my name's Deborah Curry. I'm a certified financial planner, and the firm I work for is Yosemite Capital Management. But I've been working on branding with Mary, my business consultant, and I think being more, what's the word I'm looking for? Unique isn't necessarily the word I'm looking for, but it's important to differentiate yourself, and doing that through branding is a challenge.
Yep, and it can be. And wait till you hear what Gerry has to say. He's got solutions galore. Yeah, thank you, Deborah. And Levon, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Shelly. Hi, you guys. My name is Levon Shields. My company is Management Consultants of America, providing outsourced accounting CFO services. Refer to myself as a business accountability coach with emphasis on the account, helping business owners learn to use their financial records to build, lead, and grow their businesses, helping them essentially transition into CEOs. And I guess branding is like practically been an aloof term for me. It's been crazy. So I look forward to hearing more from Gerry. I've heard from him before. So I look forward to what he can bring, and to help me try to figure out where my branding is lacking, and go from there. So thanks a lot. Looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you, Levon. And just a side note, Levon and Gerry served on a panel for my Global Women's Networking Group, and it was a phenomenal event. Great job, Gerry and Levon. All right, and then next we'll have Paul introduce himself, and then Gina.
Hi, my name is Paul Pakin. Somehow I got into this. I am not a veteran. My dad was in the Korean War, and my daughter actually is at the VA in Providence, Rhode Island, doing OT today. So we're just whatever we can do to help. We're a sales enablement company. So our tool is called Bablet, and typically imagine I'm a pharmaceutical rep and you're a doctor. They use our platform to show their content. So to see how I can help your network would be our pleasure. And for us, we're in the middle of a relaunch of a new version of our product. So how to brand during a relaunch is why I'm here today.
Awesome. And you know, Paul, welcome. And just so you know, you don't have to be a veteran to join us, as long as you're, wanting to get involved. And also there are a lot of speakers that we have that help small business, and you'll see from Gerry today. So it's open to every business owner, not just veterans.
Thank you.
But we appreciate the work in your family that are in the service. Thank you. Yeah. All right, Gina.
So I apologize, I'm running late.
You're right on time.
My kettle's about to go, so you're gonna hear beeping. I'm shoving dried bananas down my throat. Anyway.
So you're here.
I'm assuming you want, okay, so I'm in real estate. I do real estate, but I'm literally in the process of working with Gerry now. So
yay.
I have to tell you, he's gonna laugh right now, because I'm literally working on my who, what, where, when, how, why. So I'm helping entrepreneurs, especially mompreneurs, with their businesses, leadership skills, interaction skills. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm still in the process of it, but I was just showing houses this morning, and this weather is nuts as well. So it's a little bit crazy.
And where are you?
Oh, I'm in North County, San Diego.
North County, San Diego. Yeah. And you're also working with Deborah Kemp for the Housing for Heroes. Yes. And in fact,
we just did an interview, actually with Zoom. So I haven't actually seen it. I don't mind watching myself, but that was really gracious of them as well, just because we work with veterans, and a lot of veterans don't use their VA benefits, and that is a huge thing. So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Welcome. And we had Jennifer join us, and then so what we'll do is we'll go to Mark Mays, and then to Renate, and then we'll have Mark introduce our executive director. So Mark, you're next. Oh, we can't hear you. You're mute.
There we go. My name is Mark Mays. I'm an executive business advisor. I'm also co-director of the Veterans Chamber of Commerce with Shelly, and I collaborate with veterans and all business owners in regards to what is their vision and how do they want to accomplish that, when and how. So I work with them at an in-depth process, but that's really the storefront of what it is that we do.
Welcome, and thank you for directing.
Thank you. And you know what? I wanted to share with the regards to the branding, because Gerry, maybe you can speak to this and touch on it. For me right now, the aloof piece or the focus piece is the depth. The people that know the service, know the brand, know it well, and they trust it well. I want to extend that out. I want to make that international, and we're at that point now. You know, we've launched this program that's really the fundamentals of what we work on, and it's now online. It's accessible around the world. So, thank you.
That's exciting. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. And then Renate.
Hi, my name is Renate Incardoni, and I work with Shelly at Luminary Leaders. My question would be about the Luminary Leaders brand to help us set us apart from others and to target our market. That would be my question.
I love it. Love it. Thank you, Renate, and welcome. All right, then we're going to go to Jennifer. Well, actually, Joe, you know what? Let's have you introduce yourself. I was going to have Mark introduce you, but I don't want to leave you out. And then Jennifer, we'll have you introduce yourself.
That's fine. I would like to hear from Jennifer first, if you don't mind.
Of course. Thank you. What a gentleman. Thank you. Jennifer.
Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be part of this Zoom today. I've been a producer, that's a development producer in the television and motion picture arena since 1991. Wow. And it's been very difficult. It's been very difficult in the last year. And so I want to support veterans because rest in peace, my father was in the Air Force. And I lost him in 2007. And my son, who's 20, wants to go into the Navy. So I just started my first limited liability company 2 years ago. And I definitely want to hire veterans when they get trained in the motion picture and television arena. And with all the streaming services, things are changing fast.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer. And wonderful for you to be here. We appreciate it. Thank you.
I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. All right. And we're going to go to Joe.
Well, and that's a great, and thank you, Shelly. And it's a great pleasure to be here. And it's been an awesome experience working with every one of you and everyone in the chapter. Shelly and Mark has done an awesome work, awesome job on getting the group together and and connecting everyone with each other, which that's what we're here about, is helping each other collaborate. And to your point, Jennifer, I think it would be a great idea for us to collaborate on a program that with your leadership helps transition military get into the motion picture with our producers, with our, in whichever area that we can decide that they can participate in, and make that program as part of the Veterans Chamber one of the programs. And that will be a great thing for us to work on, for you and Shelly and Mark to kind of set up the foundation for that. That will be an awesome program that we can participate.
Yes.
But, and one of the things is that, I know Paul was saying, I'm not a veteran. And that's one thing is that the chamber, we take as Shelly read the mission statement, we take the approach of a family. It's a family approach. It's a family affair. So whether you are a parent or a son or a daughter or spouse, you belong to it. You can participate in the chamber just like any of us veterans. Same rights, same benefits, everything. But in addition to that, there is a lot of people who they may, for whatever reason, did not participate in the military, but they love working with veterans. And our chamber has many of people like that, and I'm very honored and appreciative for their support. So we are totally and completely and want to keep it like that, inclusive. And that's something that Gerry can kind of give us some pointers on that, because what we want to do is to be a collaborative, what we are, a collaborative entity. We work in collaboration, and we also are inclusive. We want to participate and want to welcome everyone to participate with us, because it just makes sense. It just makes sense. And so happy to be here. I know Scott and I will be talking later, but happy to be here. And thank you, Shelly. Thank you, Mark, for organizing the event.
Oh, thank you, Joe. We appreciate all of your contributions and the opportunity to work with you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And if I can, I'd like to mention, I'm excited because we are working on it's a VIP golf tournament, and it's powered by the Veterans Chamber as well as Perfecto Coffee. And I was hoping Bruce would be here today. Yeah, Bruce, I don't think Bruce is able to be here today. What's exciting is we have, who loves football? Raise your hand. Well, we have Andre Reed, who will be joining us, and he's with the Buffalo Bill, or excuse me, Hall of Famer with the Buffalo Bills. And I know my brother, when I told him, he was so excited. But and we also have Dave DeRocher, who was with the Seattle Seahawks many years ago, just like Andre Reed. And the golf tournament is going to be on June 14th. We're looking for players, we're looking for sponsors, and it's all going to benefit the Veterans Chamber Foundation. So if there's a way that you'd like to get involved and participate as number one as a golfer, let us know. Or if you know golfers who would love to play golf. And I understand that Andre Reed is going to have a team, and so is Dave. So you get to play with a pro football player, former football players. So very exciting. And my name is Shelly Harrison. I'm the CEO of Luminary Leaders. We are a speaker management and consulting company. And I'm happy to say that we have several clients here today. Gerry's one of our clients. Mark is a client. And also Levon, and now Scott. Scott's joined us too. So happy to have all of you here. And we also represent Joe Molina. So very excited to have all of you here. And I am going to turn it over to Gerry, because now he gets to introduce himself. But let me tell you a little bit about Gerry. Gerry Foster is a branding evangelist. He is also the creator of the Big Brand Formula. And today, when you hear his talk, I'm not kidding you, I heard him the first time and I'm like, I was instantly able to change some of the things in my company. And I think you'll all find the same thing. So Gerry's been doing this, gosh, Gerry, since what, the 80s, right? And he's not the kind of branding expert, really more of a strategist. So he is a strategist. He does not focus on the logos and the website. What he does is helps you to build the absolute strategic components of what it takes to build a big brand. So without further ado, I want to introduce Gerry Foster.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. When Shelly and I first got connected at the beginning of the year, she said, "Are you available in March to speak to the Veterans Association?" I said, "Absolutely." So first, I want to acknowledge each of you for who you are and for your service to our country. And I am privileged, hyena happy, and peacock proud to be here. And I got to share with you guys something. I just got these eyeglasses over the weekend. Check this out. They're stars and stripes in the templates. Oh. I got the stars. I got the American flag. Is that not great? Let's hear it for America, would you please, everybody? Isn't that great? And I love these glasses, I tell you. Branding. We love our brands, don't we?
Absolutely.
What are some of your favorite brands? I'm just curious. Throw out, just blurt them out. Everybody can unmute yourselves. What are some of your favorite brands that maybe you bought recently? It could be something that you bought online or you bought in a store. What are some of your favorite brand names?
Pepsi.
Pepsi. What else?
Domino. Wayfair.
Wayfair. What else?
Amazon.
Sorry?
Kate Spade.
Okay.
And Adidas.
Okay. Any other? Starbucks is great.
We know Joe likes coffee.
McDonald's. I said Pete's.
McDonald's.
So we got them all.
Now, the second question is, why did you choose those brands? What was your reason for choosing those brands?
Well, my Nike tennis shoes, I have about 5 pairs of Nike tennis shoes and they're so comfortable.
Okay,
And my second favorite tennis shoes are, it starts with an S. I apologize. The name is on the tip of my tongue.
but you chose the brand because they're comfortable. What else? That's great.
Relatability is a big one for me.
Abilities. Who said Starbucks?
Joe.
Why
I
Starbucks?
did. Starbucks has a, a kind of unique environment that kind of gives the sense of a place that is normal enough, official enough to actually meet someone, and it's totally fine. So the environment itself is not like meeting. I like the coffee from McDonald's, but I will not have a meeting at McDonald's.
Yeah, because you can get a great cup of coffee at 7-Eleven.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the Starbucks gives you the other added values, which is the image, what represents, the perception of what represents.
Interesting. I got it. Thank you for sharing. Who else? What was the reason you chose the brand that you shared? Just curious.
The commercial made me like the product.
The commercial.
Which was that?
Yeah.
It was Dove. I like the Dove beauty bars.
Okay, very nice.
Got it.
The one that I mentioned a minute ago is relatability.
Oh, relatability. Okay, got it. Thank you, Scott. I love your beard, by the way. You know what? I used to have a beard almost like that back in anyway, that's a long time ago. So here's what's interesting about what each of you were sharing, and please write this word down. You chose those brands for different reasons. However, what you all have in common is one word. Write this word down, because. I chose that brand. I prefer that brand because. And it could be because of what you could see, taste, touch, smell, or hear.
Right.
Or maybe it was the experience that you are getting from Starbucks that you're not going to get at 7-Eleven or McDonald's. So in this thing called branding, let's first get clear on what a brand is, because people throw that word around all the time. You go online, it's about your brand. The newspaper, it's about your brand. Celebrities, TV, it's all about everybody's brand. And when you hear the word brand, what most people think of is what? A logo, the look of the brand. Because the word brand is typically associated with what? Things that are visual. So the first thing I want to do is get clear with you about what a brand is. And by the way, feel free to take notes. Feel free to ask me questions at any point. If I start getting on a roll, don't worry, it's being recorded. A brand is more than a logo. A brand is an experience. And it's the promise of an experience in terms of how you want your customer to feel about working with you. I was speaking in Virginia a few years back. In fact, speaking of veterans, I happened to be speaking on the same day that the Marines were in the hotel. It was so funny. I was one of the only non-Marines in the hotel. It was hilarious. There's all these Marines celebrating the anniversary, right? Every year, 100 years, right? And I was saying to the audience, for those of you who have a hard time understanding that a brand is more than a logo or anything that you can see, let's take Coke and Pepsi. I doubt if the Coca-Cola people prefer Coke because it's in a red can, or the Pepsi people because it's in a blue can. That's what's inside the can that counts. So my question to each of you is, what's inside your can? What is your reason that people should work with you? Now, in this thing called branding, you can basically brand one of 5 ways. You can brand a company, a product, a service, a nonprofit, or yourself as a personal brand. And I'm going to be speaking to those of you, no matter what stage you are at right now. Some of you may be at the stage of wanting to start your own business. Some of you may have started your own business already. You're in that early stage where you've been in business less than a year. Maybe some of you have a day job and you're doing your brand on the side. What do we call that now in America? That side hustle that you want to become your full-time hustle, this gig economy, right? Or some of you may have been in business for a while. 1, 2 years or more, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So it doesn't matter where you are, what I'm about to share will apply to each of you. The first thing is this. Assuming that some of your goals are to scale. How many of you want to scale this year? Say yes, yes, raise your hands. In terms of getting more clients, making more money, having more impact, right? Whatever you want to scale, the first thing you have to understand is what's called the sequence that's required today, particularly online in the midst of a turbulent internet. So I want everyone to please draw a triangle on a sheet of paper. And at the top of the triangle, write the word brand, lower left-hand corner, write the word market, lower right-hand corner, the word sell. You want to adhere to what I call the golden triangle, which means brand, market, sell. You first nail down your brand, and then you market and sell the heck out of it. It's always branding, followed by marketing, followed by selling. And you have to look at those three as if they're 3 legs to a stool, which simply means that one leg is not more important than the other. They're equally important. However, the three have to be integrated, working together to produce the results that you're looking for. Now, the way that I separate the three, and we're going to tie all this in together, you'll see in a few minutes, is that the job of branding is to differentiate you. The job of marketing is to get people to become aware of what makes you different and desire that difference. The job of selling is to get people to pay for that difference. Oh, you missed it. Let me give it to you again. The job of branding is to let the world know that there's nobody else like you, that you've got something different to offer, that people are going to be thrilled by. The job of marketing is to get people to pay attention to what makes you different. What is it that makes you special? What is it that makes you interesting? What is it that's going to appeal to people so that they'll want that? And the job of selling is to get people to pay for that. Oh, you still missed it. Let me break it down this way because Shelly said they call me the branding evangelist, so I got to break it down this way. Branding will get you known, marketing will get you found, and selling will get you paid. Can I get an amen from the choir here real quick? Okay.
Amen.
All right. Okay. I know you all are veterans, but we're going to take a ride together. Okay. See, branding's job is to get you known. Marketing's job is to get you found, and selling is to get you paid. Because at the end of the day, you got to get known, get found, and get paid. Isn't that right, Gina? Gina, by the way, came here because she's a groupie. She's a Gerry Foster groupie. Just, you know, she follows me around now, okay? So you got to get known, you got to get found, you got to get paid. Because at the end of the day, the job for all of us is to do what? Be seen, be heard, and make money. That's why we're all in business.
Great summary.
Okay? Now, in the big picture, thank you. By the way, flattery will get you everywhere. But, you know, if I get on the floor, you got to, you know, okay. So in the big picture, there's 3 levels to branding. The first level is what's called strategic branding, which means that you lay down a foundation that you can build a strong brand upon. The second phase is called visual branding. So a way to think of this, everyone, is that in phase 1, you are giving your brand the strongest body, voice, and spirit possible. And the job in level 2 is to bring that to life visually through your website, through social media, through a funnel, whatever. And then level 3 is called social media branding, which has actually emerged just in recent years, where you are now posting videos and different stuff on Instagram and Facebook and on and on and on. So you go from level 1, strategic branding, to level 2, visual branding, to level 3, social media branding. Now, having said that, there are 4 phases to brand development. So I'm just going to set all this up for you before I give you the meat, okay? So I'm going to give you some bones here, but I'll put the meat on the bones for you. Phase one is to make sure that what's called your brand architecture is in place. So this is where the foundational stuff is being done. And when I say brand development, you could be in one of three places. For some of you, you are here on this call today because your goal is to create a brand from scratch, meaning that you're putting out services, because it doesn't sound like anybody's offering any products. You're putting out services and you want to turn that service into a brand. If that's you, raise your hand, okay? Now, the second group of you could be those of you who already have a brand, or at least you have at least you feel you have a brand, and you want your brand to be stronger. And I heard someone use this word. That's called rebranding, where you are now looking for ways to make that brand have the biggest impact possible by reimagining, retooling, revamping, re-engineering your brand. And as you know, big companies rebrand all the time in order to stay ahead of the curve. And then the third group are those of you, you don't have to raise your hand if this is you. You're here because your brand is stale, stuck, stalled, and in a slump. Ain't doing much of nothing, not making any money. I call that brand repair. Now, I won't embarrass you all, so you don't have to raise your hand, okay? So regardless of where you are, you got to know what the four phases are. So number one, brand architecture, right? Now, your goal here is to do what? To bring together what are called all the key strategic components that make up a strong brand, a mouth-watering brand. You guys want a mouth-watering brand? Yes? A mouth-watering brand that people are going to have thirst for. So that at the end of the day, when you bring these components together, you have what's called a standalone brand. Very, very important. Standalone brand, which means you are one of a kind. Oh, y'all gonna make some money today. Okay, standalone brand. So that at the end of the day, you can say the right things the right way to the right people, okay? Now, the technical term for phase one is what's called your brand strategy. And that brand strategy becomes your blueprint for growth. And as Shelly alluded to, I'm what's called a brand strategist as opposed to a brand designer. And I always use this as an analogy, just like someone who may own a house cleaning service says, I don't do windows. Well, I tell people I don't do logos, swag bags, tote bags, websites, and things that people can see, because great brands are built strategically and not visually. Said another way, no one's going to hire you just because of your logo or because of your photography and your pretty colors. So let's just get real clear on that, all right? And as Shelly also alluded to, just to kind of set this up for you, I've been in this game for a while. I love telling this story. I was at a networking event about 25 years ago, way before the internet. There were about 300 people there. The organizer said to the crowd, please stand up if you're in the same field that you majored in college. And I stood up with 2 people. 3 out of 300. And so my educational background is I went to USC, Southern Cal. I did my undergrad and grad work at SC. I'm proud to say that I earned my way into USC. My parents didn't have to cheat my way into USC. By the way, it's been a hard last few years for the Trojans, but nonetheless, I graduated from the Marshall School of Business, 2 degrees with honors, majored in marketing, deep study in branding. And so when I came out of USC, I went to work for a company called P&G. You guys know P&G, Procter & Gamble. And for those of you who don't know it, they more or less wrote the book on branding. So I was a strategic branding guy working in the field of brand management at P&G, working to build their laundry brands like Cascade and Air Liquid laundry detergent. I worked in the citrus juice and drink industry. And then I started my brand development and training company full-time in 1985. This is my 36th year owning my own company. Give me some love, everybody. Yeah, okay. Now let's get clear. Yes, I did start when I was 10 with a lemonade stand, okay, all right. Dinosaurs were roaming the earth at the time that I started in 1985. Yes, this is true. And I remember when I started my business, a bunch of us were saying, have you heard about this thing called a PC? It's like a computer. I go, really? Is that true? Okay, I'm not exaggerating, all right? So I'm a 39-year-old baby boomer. That's my story and I'm sticking to it, just in case you're wondering. But what's my point? I read an article once which said that the average American changes their job 10 to 15 times in a lifetime. I've never done anything else but branding my entire adult life. I live and breathe branding. I love all aspects about branding. I do what I love what I do, and I do it for what I've been called to do. And so I always tell people that because there's a whole lot of folks out there who say they do branding. And when you talk to them, you find out, oh, you do logos. Oh, you do design. Oh, your thing for branding is let's shoot some videos and put them on Instagram, right? No, I'm the guy who's going to make you all eat your vegetables today. Okay, that's what I do. Someone came up to me at an event one, Shelly, and she said, oh, I get what you do. You do the upfront thinking. You do the hard stuff. You let other people do the decorating. I go, you got it. Because great brands are strategically built, as I'm about to share with you. Fair enough? So in the branding universe that I orbit in, which I think is one of the reasons why Shelly took me on as a client, because she did her due diligence on me. Don't make any mistake about it. Is because in the branding universe that I orbit in, I'm regarded as a bona fide branding guy, the real deal, amongst a whole lot of people out there who are fakers and takers, but that's a conversation for another time. Now, having said that, let's go back to the 4 phases. Number 1, I'm gonna have fun today because I'm with you all my tribe, man. You're veterans, man. Just because you all served our country, I'm just gonna, can I just season this up and spice this up and see and make this even more flavorful for you? Do I have your permission to do that today? I'm gonna throw in some stuff for free, okay? So in phase 1, your brand strategy becomes what's called your blueprint for building your business. So think of this as if you were building a house. If you were going to build a house, the first thing you would do is what? You'd hire an architect. And the architect would create the blueprint. And then that blueprint would then go to phase 2, which means what? That blueprint gets passed on to a builder. Now, what's the builder going to do? The builder is going to bring in subcontractors, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, the rest of the crew to build a house. So in my world, it's the same sequence. Once the architectural work and foundational work is done in phase 1, brand architecture, now you go to phase 2, and that's called brand building. So the goal in phase 2 is to take the brand, build it out, by utilizing the services and skills of my quote unquote crew. And these are who? Your marketing people, okay? Someone to do your website, your social media, your design work, marketing funnels, PR, search engine optimization, email marketing, whatever has to be done in phase 2, along with determining how you're going to best monetize your brand. But the key, everybody, is that what gets done in phase 2 has to be anchored in phase 1 so that you have what's called brand synergy, which means that the branding and the marketing are now coming together, working in harmony. Because if you've ever dealt with marketing people from phase 2, if they don't have a brand, a strategically designed brand to root their work in, what marketing people love to do is sell you their stuff, their ideas, called the shiny objects. I will not get into that, but if you've been there, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Ooh, I should do this? Okay. And half the time it doesn't work. So anyway, so once you get that work done, now you go to phase 3. That's called brand implementation. So now you're taking the branding the marketing that got developed in phase 2, anchored in phase 1, so that you have synergy and congruency. And now in phase 3, you are out there selling and marketing your courses, your programs, whatever else that you have decided to monetize your work. So now you're getting leads, you're getting conversions, and you're making money in phase 3. Make sense? And then you go to phase 4, which is called brand management. So now you're managing the brand by the numbers to make sure that the brand is doing what you need it to do. So you move from brand architecture, phase 1, to brand building to phase 2, in phase 2, phase 3, brand implementation, phase 4, brand management. Now, why do I share that? I've been very blessed because over the last 30 plus years, I've helped over 100,000 small businesses, 600 different industries. And from people who sell widgets to people who offer services, I find that most people fall into two traps that you should be aware of. Number one, everybody's trying to get to phase 3 as quickly as they can.
Yeah.
And they're driven by a conversation called money needs to be made, bills have to be paid. And so they try anything to get sales, and it often doesn't work. And they fail to recognize that if they were marketing and selling a brand, they would be a lot more successful because your marketing is going to be more effective because it's rooted in a brand strategy, which underlies the marketing, which means that your marketing now is going to require fewer impressions to do what you needed to do. So therefore, $1 works like $5. You get a higher return on your marketing investment. But then they think they have a brand because they got a freaking logo or a website or things that you can see. That's the first trap. The second trap is that they fall victim to what I call the lure, L-U-R-E, of the marketing people who peddle the shiny objects in phase 2. So what I'm about to share with you is what goes into phase 1, with your permission, okay? So all that was my introduction. You guys ready to get started? All right, let's get started. Phase 1. There's 3 levels that you can play at in this thing called entrepreneurship that I have found over 30 plus years. There's me too, me special, me only. Ooh, me too. The latest statistics are that there was 1.7 billion websites on the World Wide Web. And that number is growing even more. This was before the pandemic. And it's getting harder and harder for people, particularly those of you who offer expertise, skills, talents, abilities, gifts. It's getting harder and harder for you, write this down, to stand out, get noticed, and be remembered, which is the goal of every brand. Have some of you ever felt as if you're invisible? Raise your hands. Like no one's paying attention to you. So along with this challenge called you're standing out, you're not standing out, what comes along with that is another problem. False perceptions occur. As I was listening to each of you introduce yourselves, you have to understand that I hear you differently than how you hear yourself. I listen for what makes you distinct. And most of you, the way you introduced yourself, puts you automatically in what's called Me Too space. You're just another humma doing humma. Now, I don't mean that judgmentally, but in order to stand out, get noticed, and be remembered, you have to offer something unique so that you can then be rewarded for your individuality. Am I preaching today? Did you all follow that? Let me give it to you again. In order for you to stand out, get noticed, and be remembered, you have to offer something unique so that you can then be rewarded for your individuality. Are there any spiritual people in the group? Anybody here a little spiritual, religious, a little spiritual? All right, let me break it down this way. This will be my sermon for today. In order for your God to get a blessing to you, he's got to be able to bless others through you. But the only way he can bless others through you is if no other business sounds like you or looks like you. Oh, can I get a shout and an amen from somebody? Come on with me.
Amen.
All right, are you hearing me today? You live in the world, but you're not of the world. So therefore, you don't present yourself like others. And on top of that, you are veterans? That puts you a cut above the rest of the crowd. Say this out loud. I was born to stand out. Unmute yourselves, please. Say, I was born to stand out.
I was
born to stand out.
Not blended.
Not blended.
Just let that marinate for a second. You are special people. You're not like everybody else. So what happens is that so many owners are in Me Too market space because false perceptions occur. What does that mean? Have you ever found that just by telling someone what it is that you do for a living, they come up with their own wacky, crazy conclusions about what it is that you provide? I'm a real estate agent. Oh, okay, I put you into the real estate pile. I'm a financial coach. Okay, I put you into the financial pile. I'm a life coach. Oh, another one of those. I put you into the life coaching pile. So people will literally slot you, put you in a box, pigeonhole you, just from you telling people what it is that you do. And the reason why branding, strategic branding, has now been determined as the #1 business building tool, particularly here in this great country of ours, where the most successful companies in America put out brands as opposed to products and services, is because it allows you, write this down, to shape perceptions so that people see you the way you want them to see you. Because unless you brand yourself, somebody else will. And the way that someone else may brand you is probably not the way that you want them to see you. So the first thing you have to do is acknowledge that you may be swimming in what's called Me Too market space, also known as red ocean market space, where you are now competing in shark-infested competitive waters where everybody seems the same in this roaring, raging sea of sameness. So that when you tell people what you do and they put you there, what basically you are allowing them to do, and you don't even realize it, is that they are commoditizing you. They are labeling you as being generic. They basically are saying you're just another slice in the loaf, another penguin in the group, another sheep in the herd. I got a whole bunch of them, everybody, okay? Where basically you're just another humma. And however, brands like Nike and Starbucks have shown us that the products they sell are less important than the brands they market and sell. Oh, you missed it. Oh, well, let me say it this way. You went from being a Chiquita banana to a banana. You're not a Gillette, you're a razor blade. You're not Evian, you're just a bottle of water. Because when you're swimming in Me Too, blue ocean market space, where people slot you with the rest of the crowd, you're another whoever doing whatever. In their mind, you are just a commodity. So therefore, all they want to know is what from you. What are your prices?
What does it cost?
You got it, Deborah. Say it again, Deborah.
What does it cost?
Exactly.
That's right.
Because they have put you in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Write this word down. In Me Too space, you are basically perceived as an imitator. Remember that word, perceived, because the goal here is to shape perceptions. Okay? It's the whole essence of branding. And advertising in America. Now, remember who you're talking to here, okay? I was also an adjunct professor for 10 years of branding and marketing and advertising at 4 major universities, 10 straight years, weekends and evenings. That's another conversation. I'm a very humble guy, but you're talking to who's considered a scholar on this topic, okay? Shelly doesn't even know that, but she's getting to know me. You know, she's following. Second level is called Me Special. Me Special. Now, what does that mean? That's where some of you say, no, Gerry, I'm different. I'm not another penguin. I'm just not another sheep. But see, here's the deal. Sometimes I think that for a lot of consumers, we're all just a bunch of cattle. A bunch of cows. Now, what do we know about cows? They all look alike. But if that rancher has on his property and he has a broken fence and one of his cows goes through that fence onto another rancher's property, he can go to that rancher and say, that's my cow because that's my
brand.
You got it. Oh, you're getting it. You're getting it. You're getting it. So some of you may say, well, Gerry, I'm different. Look at my business card. I got a logo. I got a tagline. I got pretty colors. I'm branded. I go, no, you have a logo, a tagline, and pretty colors. That's called brand image. And like I said earlier, that alone is not going to give people a reason to hire you. So for those of you who are in this thing called, Gerry, I think that I'm different, the real question becomes not only A, are you a brand, but more importantly, write this down, number 2, are you relevant? Are you putting something out into the marketplace that people find interesting, appealing, that they really, really care about and will want to purchase it? Because the perception may be that you are an impersonator because you're not relevant. Now, understand, I'm not saying this individually about anybody because I don't even know you all. I'm teaching. I can't help it. I've been teaching all my life. That's all I do. Shelly, when I teach, my life makes sense, just so you know. We have a history in America of rock star brands that were standalone brands that then lost their relevance and died on the vine. Does the name MySpace ring a bell?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Who in the hell thought that Blockbuster would ever go out of business?
Nobody.
AOL, BlackBerry, Radio Shack. Look at what's happened to the retail chains across America because nobody saw this thing coming called Amazon.
That's right. Yeah.
You start to think, and I'll give you another one. Listen, Shelly doesn't know this. I just started using Zoom in 2019. You know what I used for 10 years before that? GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar.
Yeah.
I think they invented the freaking platform. How did they let Zoom come in and take that technology and come up with something better?
I was going to say it just zoomed right in.
It does. Good, Shelly. That's good.
You know he's going to steal that.
That was good. That was good. I got to steal that one. I like that. So the level you want to play at is level 3, me only. Where you can say to the world, not only did I serve this country, not only do I have something special to offer, you can only get it from me. Everybody put a fist up like this. Everybody, right? Put a fist up and go ka-ching, ka-ching,
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Are you with me?
Makes sense.
We have, just so you know, incredible folk out there that are creating $1 million brands, multi-million-dollar brands in 12 months, 2 years, services, products, it doesn't matter because they understand the strategic components that I'm teaching you. They don't give a, nobody cares about your freaking logo. Nobody cares about your photography. The key in me only, write this down, is to position yourself as being preeminent in what you do. See, the fact that you all are veterans says to me You are not like everybody else. That by itself says something to me, that you, in your heart, your DNA is to put something out into the world that says, I'm not going to follow the crowd. I'm going to lead the crowd because I am a leader. And some of you may have been leaders in the military by your titles. So therefore, it may be time for some of you all to go against the flow and not with the flow. When you decide that you're going to be a me-only standalone brand, you basically are making the decision that you're going to write this down. You're going to deviate and not conform. You are going to be an innovator. That's level 3, me only, and not an imitator, me too. Write this down. There is nothing cookie cutter about me. Mark, try to look interested. Don't fall asleep, my friend. Look at Mark. He's falling asleep.
He's taking copious notes out there.
Mark,
That's the way he thinks.
I'm a very sensitive guy. You should know that, really. People say Gerry has issues. That's why he has to have applause. Okay, anyway, that's a different conversation.
I take copious notes, and what you're saying is spot on. Thank you very much.
All right, my friend.
Yeah. And you know what, Gerry, we have just a couple of minutes left, and I really want to leave it open for questions. If we could do that, because we had an hour meeting today. Normally we do an hour and a half, but we thought, because a lot of people need to kind of move on. But what you're saying is just, I mean, everybody, show of hands, isn't this great information? Yes.
Yeah, so just to wrap it up,
Gerry.
thank you so much. Just to say one more thing, and we'll wrap it up. In the me-only space, understand that there's 2 questions that a potential customer wants to know. 2 questions. How are you different, and why are you better? How are you different? Why are you better? How you are different is when you say you are a me-only brand, which says I'm the only humma doing humma. Why you are better is when you can say because, and that's called your secret sauce. So to tie this in with the beginning, when I said one word in common, because, that's called your delivery system, which means that what you guys want to do is leverage the special way that you serve your customers, which means that you don't offer services, you offer it in a different way. You have a process, a method, an approach that is anchored in what's called your brand DNA, your wisdom, how you think, what you know works and doesn't work, and on and on and on. Okay? All right, so I'll end it there.
That's awesome, Gerry. Oh my gosh. I took 2 pages of notes, and I've heard you a couple of other times, but I still took notes. Great information. And I'd love to open it up. I know we're 2 minutes over right now, but I would love to get anybody's questions answered. I did record this, and I'll make sure that everybody here gets the recording, but does anybody have any specific questions for Gerry?
How do we get involved with you, Gerry, on a long-term basis?
Here's what I like to write this down. My cell is area code 310-382-6539. 310-382-6539. What I want to do is, this is what I always tell people. Let's muscle test you. Let's see what you got in place. And I have a special way of doing that because I'm very structured, I'm very strategic and all that stuff. And I have an assessment that I created that'll allow me to muscle test your brand. So if you text me right now, do it right now as we're talking. Put in the text your name in the word quiz, Jennifer. Bye, Jennifer. No, she didn't.
I'm getting my phone.
Okay.
And Gerry, I also put the link for your quiz. I did that when you first started talking, so it's also in the chat.
Okay, all right. So go ahead but still send me a text, okay? Because if you don't text me, I won't know who you are and how to reach you. And just put your name, your first name or full name, the word quiz, any accolades. By the way, flattery, Gina will tell you, flattery will get you everywhere with me, okay? So, but do it now. In fact, I'm gonna look and see if you guys are texting me.
I thought it was funny, Gerry. She wants a long time relationship with you.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful.
Business-wise.
I already like Jennifer. I think she's brilliant. That's all I can say.
Oh, you're sweet. Thank
So
you.
That was just bad.
So Jennifer, do it now, okay? Oh, there she is. Oh, it's Scott. Hey, Scott. My brother from another mother. I love it. All right.
And I think Scott had a question too. Scott, did you have a question?
Go ahead. There's Paul. Hey, Paul. Okay. Jennifer.
I'm right now.
All right. Deborah.
I will do that. I'm not free to do it myself. That's part of my problem. I'm an employee, so it's, yeah.
Do you allow you as an employee to have a personal brand?
I'll text you and we can discuss it.
Yeah, please do.
How's that sound?
Because personal brands don't just extend to entrepreneurs, they extend to employees.
Understand.
Okay, I just sent it.
All right. Monique, sister girl, what you doing? All right. You guys will get used to me. I'm fun. All right, there we go.
And Scott, you had a question. I'm sorry, I didn't. Did you have a question?
Yeah, Gerry. So the whole time you were talking, you explained my process to a T. It was completely backwards. So what's the first thing I can do right now to start developing that architecture?
You sent me a text, right? Okay, I'll get back to you by tomorrow. Okay. But in the meantime, hit the pause button. A lot of people do that with me. Because part of it is with marketing people, again, I shouldn't be so cynical, but a lot of they're not going to talk to you about this stuff, man.
Well, part of my process has been dropping a couple $1,000s into ClickFunnels and creating a funnel and Wix to develop the website. And
that's a shiny object. I know. There we go. There we go. I hear all the horror stories.
Yeah.
Well, Gerry.
Yeah.
And with Shelly's permission, I think the information that you shared with us is totally awesome.
Thank you.
I mean, I took, like Shelly, 2 pages of notes, key points, and I love it. And so what I would like to extend is an invitation to organize in partnership with Shelly's and Mark's leadership, if you're interested, series of many topics on branding that we can invite others to listen to you, to hear you, and also give an opportunity for you to say what makes you unique and different, and to monetize the session. But I would like to follow up with you and Shelly and Mark to do that.
That's a great idea, Joe.
And
awesome, thank you.
You just brought tears to my eyes.
Well,
I'd be honored. Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's so wonderful that you're so humble, Gerry. That's so needed in our society today, because in show business, there's so many big egos, and I'm a very humble person, because I don't tell anybody this, but I'm telling you guys, I'm turning 62 in May, and I feel like I don't know anything anymore because of this horrible pandemic has really affected us terribly. And I personally lost 2 friends to COVID. And one was a brilliant comedy writer. And unfortunately, none of their projects ever got made. And they were very well known, and they were in their 70s, and they were very well known in New York City when they owned an advertising agency. And unfortunately, they passed away in January. And then another friend passed away last year because of COVID. So, and we're very fortunate to be alive now. We really are.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Thank you for sharing, Jennifer. Well, gosh, we could go a little bit longer, and I know, and I did record this. I want to thank Gerry Foster for presenting today, our branding evangelist. So let's give him a big Thank you, thank you, thank you. And, you know, for joining us today, I want to thank each of you for being here and for making it a point to really invest in yourself. This is for you. And again, this is, you know, kind of to Paul's point. I know, you know, even though, you know, I'm not a veteran, but I have a lot of uncles, you know, that served, and I know a lot of us have had family members that have served, and we invite all, you know, just different types of small business. And if you could show me your show of hands, can you tell that this is something that almost every business owner could benefit from?
Absolutely.
Right? By attending? Yeah. And I think, you know, we have a variety of different speakers. Gerry, we're very fortunate because he's taken big, giant stages. He's traveled the world. He is a very unique speaker, and he's very well known too. I've called people, and I mean, people know him from so many different organizations and groups, and I mean, it's amazing. So you really, you know, had a treat today, and I hope that everybody feels that they were able to really get some great insight on your brand. I mean, it was like, you know, even for me, I'm like, you know, now I know how I can differentiate. Renate, I've got some ideas, but how I can differentiate what we do, you know, and we're all searching for, you know, for that magic potion. You know, I think we got it today. Don't you all agree? I think we got the magic potion.
Thank you. And the key is to have context. See, if I could just give you all tips, that doesn't serve you.
Right.
You have to have context to understand how it all, why, and so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Today you got our buy-in, Gerry. Today you got our buy-in. You gave us some great nuggets, great information.
Yeah.
These are wise people you're speaking with. You know, now they're
And I'm, before, if I may, Shelly, before we go, and like, I hear in different meetings that we are organized by the chamber, I always hear someone who's is not being directly involved as a veteran, and they start their presentation with, "I am not a veteran," and I would like to change that, if I may, because really, what really resonates and really means is, say, my name is so-and-so, I'm the CEO, director of so-and-so, I love working with veterans. See the difference? And that's really what in my ear sounds is like, if you are here, you love working with veterans. And the chamber is, it was found for people who love working with veterans. That's our bottom line. So I'm very appreciative and very honored to be working with all of you. And again, thank you very much, Shelly and Mark, for organizing this, and looking forward to the next one.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Thank you for pointing that out. That was awesome. And I do love working with our veterans. And
I know that.
That's awesome for you to say that, Joe. Because I always say I'm not a veteran, you know.
That's right.
Really,
no.
You know, I love working with our veterans.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Monique, did you say you were with World Financial Group?
Yes.
Yeah, they have me speak at their events. You should connect with me.
Oh.
All right, guys.
All right, everyone. Thank you again for being here with us today. And we have these meetings every month. So we'll make sure that everybody, you know, watch out for LinkedIn, Facebook, and also we do this on Meetup. So that's where you can find our invitations. So everybody just have a wonderful day. And again, thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Stay positive, test negative.
Deborah, I'm going to text you.
See you later.
Thank you,
Scott
Mark.
and Jennifer will be in touch.
Everyone.
Thank you. We'll be in touch. Thank you, John. Thank you.
God bless you all. Bye-bye.